Welcome to Pathfinders, a hiking podcast with Brian, where we turn trail questions into practical wins. I'm your host, Brian Hudson, and I'm thrilled to have my colleague and friend Jessica Ramsey today. We work together to find the tools that help hikers go farther with less strain. Our focus this episode: Black Diamond trekking poles for hikers aged 50 and up, how they boost stability, reduce knee load on descents, which features matter most, and what you can expect to pay. We'll keep it conversational, grounded in testing, and we'll finish with one actionable setup you can do before your next outing. Welcome to the show, Jessica.
Thanks, Brian, for having me on your show. For hikers over 50, poles do three big jobs. First, they widen your base of support, so balance feels steadier on roots, rocks, and side hills. Second, on descents, they redirect some of that braking force from your knees and hips into your arms and straps, which can mean less soreness at day's end. Third, they add confidence when fatigue creeps in. Those last miles when a stumble is most likely. I also see gains on stream crossings and scree. Planting two stable points keeps you upright and saves energy. Used well, poles become reliable third and fourth legs when carrying a pack or walking on wet surfaces.
That lines up with what our testers report: less wobble, fewer hard-braking steps, and more confidence late in the day. Since comfort and ease of use matter a lot after 50, I want to call out Black Diamond's flick-lock levers. They're simple, glove-friendly, and easier on stiff fingers than twist locks. Open the lever, slide to length, close the lever, done. If a section ever slips, you don't need tools beyond a tiny Phillips or flathead to dial in clamp tension. A quarter turn usually solves it. While we'll dive into straps later, threading your hand up through the loop and gripping over the strap lets the strap, not your grip strength, carry weight. Huge for tired hands.
That's right, Brian. Now, feature-wise, you want to prioritize grips and locks. Cork grips excel for long days. They manage sweat, mold subtly to your hand, and stay comfortable across temperatures. EVA foam is lighter and forgiving and performs better than cork when soaked. Rubber insulates in cold but can feel sticky in heat. I like extended choke-up grips for side hilling and quick, steep pitches. Adjustable straps that cradle the wrist distribute load without hot spots. For shafts, aluminum is tough and budget-friendly. It can dent yet keep working. Carbon trims weight and swing fatigue, but under sharp side loads it can be more brittle. Are you experiencing cold weather or arthritis? Lever locks plus larger contoured grips make things a lot easier. Short and women's versions offer slimmer grips and shorter ranges for smaller hands.
That's a great breakdown, Jessica. Let's map those features to Black Diamond's lineup and typical street prices. Remember, you always want to confirm current pricing. Trailback is the value pick. Aluminum, basic foam grips, solid for walkers and day hikes. They are about $70 to $90. You can step up to Trail Cork or Trail Ergo Cork for aluminum with cork grips and flick-lock security. Those will roughly run you around $120 to $150. The Ergo's angled handle can also ease wrist strain, which is real nice. Trail Pro Shock adds damping for descents. They are a bit heavier and will cost you around $140 to $170. Alpine Carbon Cork is the lighter swing option for big elevation and run about $180 to $220. Distance FLZ or Carbon FLZ fold down nice and tiny for travel, and they are around $150 to $220. Finally, Pursuit models emphasize ergonomic grips and plush straps, and run near $150 to $180.
Brian, the next thing to consider is weight. On weight, benchmarks help. Most aluminum pairs land roughly 520 to 600 grams. Many carbon sets sit around 360 to 500 grams. That lighter swing weight definitely shows up hour 4 and beyond during your hike. Your shoulders will also feel fresher. Durability-wise, telescoping trail and alpine designs are stouter for rocky, off-trail adventures. Z-style distance poles are best for packability and travel, but aren't as burly under side loads or when hauling heavy overnight packs. For material trade-offs, think about the failure mode. Aluminum may bend or dent, yet still function. Carbon resists flex and saves energy, but can crack if levered hard across a rock. If you carry a big camera or water and like rugged terrain, I would recommend the tougher telescoping
With all that, let's now cover fit and technique. To begin, Start on flat ground with your elbows at 90 degrees when the tips are planted near your feet. Set that as your baseline length. For steep climbs, shorten about 5 centimeters to keep your shoulders relaxed. For descents, lengthen 5 to 10 centimeters so the poles can reach the ground ahead without hunching your torso. For knee relief downhill, plant slightly ahead and to the sides. Keep steps short and controlled, and let the straps carry part of your weight. Thread your hand up through the loop, then grasp the grip over the strap. Here's one great actionable tip for you to consider. At home, mark your shafts with tape bands for climb and descent settings so you can switch in seconds.
Accessories can also make a big difference. Carbide tips bite into dirt, roots, and ice. Swap to rubber tech tips on rock slabs, wooden boardwalks, or pavement to cut noise and protect surfaces. Trekking baskets prevent poles from plunging between rocks. Snow baskets add some float in winter. Replacements are inexpensive and will extend pole life. For maintenance, remember to rinse off grit, separate and dry sections before storage, skip lubricants on the locks, and check clamp screws monthly. Carry a mini screwdriver or use a multi-tool. Replace tips every few hundred miles or when they start to round over. In cold rain, foam grips feel secure when soaked. For arthritic hands, go with larger, contoured grips and lever locks you can operate when wearing gloves.
I love that checklist, Jessica. When you're buying, try poles with gloves and bare hands to confirm the grip diameter and strap shape feel comfortable and right. Practice snapping the flick locks. You want firm resistance and no slip at baseline length when you load weight. Also remember that often the previous year colors often get discounts, and holiday bundles may include spare baskets or tips. Black Diamond sells replaceable tips, baskets, and straps, keeping ownership costs down. If you travel, Z-poles tuck nicely into a carry, but always verify airline rules. Finally, remember that lighter setups consistently feel easier on you late in the day.
Brian, I would like to now match models to real-world use. For walkers and mellow park paths, Trailback is dependable and affordable. For all-day mountain hikes where comfort matters, Trail Cork or Trail Ergo Cork shine. The Cork plus Flick Lock combo is hard to beat. If your knees ache on steep downs or you carry a pack often, Trail Pro Shock smooths those impacts. Are you looking at long mileage with big elevation? Alpine Carbon Cork's lighter swing weight pays off. Traveling or mixing city and trail? Distance FLZ or Carbon FLZ are nice because they pack tiny. Smaller hands or shorter heights benefit from women's short versions for better control. Start at the 90-degree baseline, go -5 centimeters for climbs, then +5 to 10 for descents. Heavier packs justify the longer downhill setting.
Those pairings mirror what I have found. A quick word on cold weather. Lever locks and larger grips are easier to work with when you're wearing insulated gloves, and cork or lightly rubberized grips avoid the slick feel some plastics get in frosty conditions. On frozen pavement or granite, rubber tech tips are quieter and grippier than carbide points. With any carbon pole in deep cold, be mindful of sharp side loading against rocks. Practice length changes at home with your winter gloves on, and store poles extended to dry after snowy outings before you collapse them for the pack. Above all, choose the model that encourages you to use poles every hour. Comfort beats chasing the absolute lightest spec on paper.
That's so true. Here's a quick field routine that helps many of our 50-plus friends. Before a rocky descent, pause, pop the levers, and slide to your descent tape mark. Plant the poles slightly wider than your shoulders, tip just ahead of your footfall, and let the straps carry some load as you step down softly. You'll notice steadier hips and more comfortable feet. For shallow creeks, lengthen a touch more, keep one pole a half step upstream, and move 1 foot at a time. After the hike, I like to separate sections, wipe grit, and air dry, then give each clamp screw a glance. When tips feel skittery or rounded, I swap them. You'll find that it's cheap insurance for the next 10-mile day.
That's a perfect note to end on. Today, Jessica and I covered why poles matter even more after 50, giving you better balance, less knee and hip load on descents, and confidence when fatigue sets in. We highlighted features to prioritize: secure flick lock levers, ergonomic cork or foam grips with extended choke-up zones, adjustable straps, and durable shafts. We compared aluminum and carbon, walked through Black Diamond's lineup with approximate street prices, and weighed durability versus packability. We set your sizing baseline, shared downhill technique and strap setup, and finally, we reviewed tips, baskets, maintenance, and smart buying. Your action tip this week is as follows. Mark climb and descent lengths with tape before your next hike. Thank you so much for listening to the show today. If this helped you in any way, please subscribe and share it with a hiking buddy. Thanks, Jessica, for joining me today. Until next week, try a few of the tips we gave you today and let us know if they helped you feel more confident finding the perfect Black Diamond trekking poles.